Hello, people. Hello. How are y'all doing on this Sunday? Is it hot enough for you out there? It's about 92 where I am. Okay. So it's pretty hot. Okay. Listen, we got a good one today. I'm coming back at you with a story. Have you all have heard the story David and Goliath from the Bible, right? Okay, so the title of this message is Don't Be Afraid to Take Their Head Off, to take its head off, his head off, her head off. When the snake rears his ugly head at you, don't be afraid to cut it off. And this is the story, this is a story from the book of El. And the book of El is my brother. And that's something he always told me. So I'm going to share it with you because this is for all the people out there who you are a decent person, you're fun loving, you're about life, you like enjoying the good things in life, you enjoy yourself, and maybe it took you a long time to even learn how to enjoy yourself. Maybe you didn't always enjoy yourself. Maybe you didn't always love yourself. But over time, as you learned the games people play, you found out that it wasn't you, it was them. And then you started getting into yourself, and now you love yourself. So you can't be afraid. You know, when the Philistines was coming against Israel, right? I'll say it the way y'all say it, Israel. Uh, Everybody was scared of them because they were big people. They were tall. They were giants. So there's nobody when Goliath stepped foot on the scene, okay, a full-blown narcissist is what we would call him today. Uh Everybody was scared of him. I mean, just everybody. But little David. And see, let that be a lesson to you that because somebody's small and little don't mean that you just gonna stomp all over them, okay? David, the smallest boy in the camp, but he was the one with the biggest courage and the biggest fearlessness. David was like, who is this tall, big, giant person, thinking he can come against the armies of God people? That's how much faith David had. And he didn't have the size on him, you understand? He was like, who is he to come against God's people? This uncircumcised Philistine. So that's how we're going to start our story today. Because you know what? I want the little people, because you're the ones who picked on. They think because you're soft, you're nice, you're easygoing, you're kind, and all these things, they think you're weak. And they think they can walk on you. They can out-slick you. They can take advantage of you. They can step on you. They can hurt you. They can keep doing it. But they don't know that you might have a David in you. Okay? So let's start off when people act like they're tolerating you instead of appreciating you. Because you want people who can appreciate you. You don't want people who is acting like they tolerating you. Why waste your time with them kind of people? Why waste your valuable time? Okay, these type of people want to treat you like you're less than them, but you're more. Okay, let me say that again. You're more. And know what? They know you more too in secret. but openly they want to represent it like they got everything over you and they what's happening and they're the latest this and they're doing it all, and and hiding all their headaches. So you got to know your more. Okay. And these kind of people carry a spirit of destruction and division. People, that's why you got to be careful when people always calling you up with a problem. Okay. They want to crucify somebody verbally to you. Okay. Oh, he's this, he's that, this, that, and the other. Now, I'm not talking about somebody that's defending themselves against somebody, because if somebody's like coming at you like that, they stepping out on you like that, you have a right to say, what is wrong with this person? They just acting like they crazy. That's different from somebody innocently calling somebody up just to bash somebody else and want you to listen to it because they trying to turn you, they doing a snake move on you because they think you're weak. So they're trying to turn you against the person they want to turn you against. And that's what they call a flying monkey, when somebody can just convince you of something that it ain't true. And you're going to go along with it. And then you're going to go flying, carrying the news of what they said all over the place. That's what they call the flying monkey. Okay. But these people have a spirit of division with them, and they don't want to see you succeed at anything. Let me be clear, at anything. Okay. They don't want to see you succeed. Okay. And they're not smart. Know why? Because they're not even being smart enough to themselves to know that if you're there when that person succeeds, you're going to share into the good times. So why would you want to destroy that? See, something's wrong with them, because you're going to share in the good times also. So why you don't want to see somebody succeed, when if you're there when they succeed, you're going to share in the good times? That means that you ain't succeeding. You don't want the other person to succeed, and therefore ain't nobody got nowhere. That's the dead zone. Ain't nothing smart about that. Okay? We love to talk about Jesus, and we should love it. Love him, but love his ways also. Because see, if you just got a name, you ain't got no power. That's why a lot of people, they don't call on Jesus till they about ready to die, or they in some situation they can't get themselves out of, and they scared to death. Then it's, oh, Jesus. But Jesus is a lot more than a name. He's a power. He's an invisible, real, living power. He was the Son of God, our creator. Okay. So you can talk about Jesus, but you need to love him, and you need to follow his ways. And Jesus was no punk. So I don't know what Bible you read, but Yeshua, the Holy One of Israel, translated Jesus with the 12 disciples. Oh, he was no joke. He was no punk. He was no coward. That's the first thing you need to know. So if you don't know about him, you need to go and read about him. Yes, he talks of everything that is good. Oh yeah, but he got some parables for you too that'll really hit home. Okay. But what you don't hear nobody talking about is Judas, the one who betrayed him out of the group. You don't hear nobody talking about Judas, the betrayer. You know what? It's a sad thing to be called a betrayer, to have that title attached to your name. Oh, she's a betrayer. Oh, he'll pay you in a minute. That means your name ain't worth 2 cents. if betrayer is tacked on to the end of your name. Okay. So they don't hear nobody talking about Judas the betrayer. And you know why? Because they don't want to tell you about his ugly ending. I mean, he spent all his time and his energy soaking up everything Jesus said, everything Jesus did, everywhere he went. You know, he spent his life soaking up all this information, you know, and everything. But what they don't talk about is that Judas, the betrayer, the one who betrayed Jesus, he died in the process. And know what? It's like the demons in somebody's head that keep telling them, oh, hurt this person. Oh, do this to this person. Oh, do that, do that. And you so weak because you ain't got no God power in you. You ain't got no Jesus in you. So you listening to these voices and you don't know that Satan's job is to ultimately destroy you. Don't you know that? He robs from you, steals from you, then he'll kill you. That's your ending. So if you a betrayer, that's your ending. Okay? The beginning of your end. When you start serving those voices, you just entered the beginning of your end. Okay? So nobody talks about how he hung himself. The same voices that told him to betray Jesus, now after he did it, told him, now go hang yourself. And he did, because he realized who he killed, a good person, who he betrayed, a good person, a person that was hurting no one. Okay? So betraying a good person, and especially Jesus, the Son of God. Okay? Judas was one of the 12. He listened to Jesus and didn't keep his confidence. Isn't there a lot of people out here like that now? You tell them something, they can't wait to get on the phone. Or they can't wait to type it out in a message on Facebook in some kind of subliminal form that they think people don't know what you're really saying, but you kind of get the gist of it. You know, those kind of posts. Okay. He went snake behind his back. Okay. He told all his secrets. And that's why we got to learn to keep a watch at the gate of our lips. You just can't tell everybody everything about yourself, about your family, about what happened to you, about what you've been through. I mean, I'm not saying you can't ever talk about it. You can, but I'm saying have some discernment about who you're going to talk about it with, because you can't trust everybody. People will turn around and take the weak part of your life that you told them about. They'll take that and use that against you. So you got to be careful about it, you know. He went snake behind his back. Okay. You know, the snake was a liar and a deceiver and a destroyer all the way from the garden, you know, they say. So that's why we call it a snake move. Okay. So be very careful of getting in the way. Oh, this is a big one. Be very careful of getting in the way of God's plan for another person's life. When you see a person who's been through hell and back and everything's been thrown at them but the kitchen sink and they still standing, you better believe that's God's person. And when you make yourself an enemy to that person because they carry God inside them, now you're God's enemy as well. And trust me, you know, God wasn't as nice as Jesus. God said, love what I love and hate what I hate. God told his armies to go in and kill up everything in the whole village. Many wars by Joshua and David and Goliath, and the few of them, God said, take his head off. So don't think because people got God in them that you exempt from getting yourself, done. I'm gonna put it that way, okay? So be very careful of getting in the way of God's plan for someone else's life. I promise you, you will be made to pay. That won't be the triumphant trumpet sounding for your story. It won't be, because after you do it and think you finished, that's when you're gonna get done, because God's going to make sure of that, because you got in the way of his plan for a good person. Now, I ain't talking about a snake snaking another snake. I'm talking about a snake snaking somebody good. And God got a plan for their life. He let them go through all kind of stuff so that they could grow up and tell other people how to get out of it. And here you jealous and you're going to get in the way. Well, you're going to be removed. I hope you don't have to go the hard way, because you just won't learn the lesson. And you just think that, like that song, everybody plays the fool sometimes. Baby, don't think that you're the exception to the rule. You fooled somebody. Who's fooling who? You heard that song? And then you fooled somebody because you played the fool, and then somebody came and played you and you became the fool. So don't think you the exception to the rule. There's no exceptions to the rule. I believe that's what the song says. Everybody plays the fool sometime. There's no exceptions to the rule. So don't think you're going to be the one, okay, to get away with it. You're fooling yourself. You will get in the way of God's plan, and you will be made to pay. And it's going to be double or triple what you did to that good person that was not even bothering you. Okay? So sometimes by the very people you told it to, and the very people you had following your snake trail, these gonna be the very people that's gonna turn on you later. Know what? Because now they see you as a traitor. And it's like, oh, if they'll betray so-and-so who was really close to them, oh, we better watch out. Who's next? And now they after you, the same people you enlisted in your army against somebody that wasn't doing nothing to you. The very people will turn on you because they hear, see, and know now that you are a traitor, and that title is going to follow you everywhere you go, and nobody's going to trust you because you're going to be known for doing in people that did nothing to you. Just for fun you did it, and then one day they're going to have fun with you. So be careful about that. And people, be careful what information you divulge. As I said earlier, it's always someone who's close to you, who knows all your secrets. They usually the one that's going to get you, or going to try to get you, because everybody ain't succeed either. Remember that, okay? Beware of people always asking you a personal information about yourself, where you lived, where you came from, what you did, how many brothers you got, how many sisters you got, who's in your family. Beware of people asking you a bunch of personal questions about your life, but they ain't telling you nothing about their life. These are the information gatherers. They want to hold the information inside so that later on, this is what they're going to use on you, okay? So be careful. I know we need people to talk to. I know we want to unload. I know a lot of us carry heavy burdens, and we need someone to talk to. But know what? personal information right off the bat, like I don't even know you like that. I just met you. And you asking me all about my personal life, my personal business, asking me about my family. Oh no, 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 no. I got to watch you with 4 eyes. Okay. I put up 8 fingers, but I meant 4 eyes. I gotta watch you with, okay. So this story is from the Book of El. And the Book of El is my brother. And he always told me, it took me years to understand the depths of what he meant by this quote. He always told me, sister, when the snake rears his ugly head at you, don't you be afraid to cut it off. And that, now I understand what he meant. You can't think about it. You can't play with it. You can't talk about it. You can't make no joke about it. You can't smooth it over. You can't be talking so much, you can't do that. When the snake rears his ugly head at you, cut it off. No thoughts. Do the cut like David did with Goliath. He said, I'm going to take down this Philistine today. Let him come up here thinking that he going to scare up and intimidate the people of God. David took Goliath out with one shot. And Goliath was big. He was tall. He was a giant. David was a little young, short man. But see, it ain't about how tall you are, how big you are, how fat you are. It ain't about that. It's about what's inside of a person. The tiniest man can beat a big woman because his strength is more than hers. So don't let people's size fool you or scare you. Goliath was a giant and David was a young short boy, but David took him down with one shot and then brought his head back for the people to see that you ain't got to be afraid of the Philistines no more, because I took Goliath out. And there's a lot of Goliaths in this world, and you need to stop scaring people. Because let me tell you something. An afraid person is the worst person in the world to mess with. They are. Because do you know somebody can kill you out of fear? People have done it. So don't think you're going to intimidate somebody and have them looking over their shoulder and, oh, they going to get me, or they going to do this and that. You got to be real careful about that, because a scared person will kill you. That's just like beating a dog. Every time he do something wrong, you want to beat this dog until one day you beat the dog all the way till he backed up into the wall. And when his back touched the wall, he attacked you something fierce. Because even a dog will bite your head off if you push his back against the wall. So y'all remember that today from the Book of El. When the snake rears his ugly head at you, don't you be afraid to cut it off. Now y'all go and enjoy the rest of your weekend, okay? Because you got the victory. You got the victory, the sweet, sweet victory in Jesus. And don't forget that you're more than a conqueror through him. And don't forget that there's power in the blood. So plead the blood against everything. Everything. It melts witchcraft. Plead the blood of Jesus against it. And start fighting for yourself. And don't let nobody take advantage of you in this world. And, the force be with you, as they say. I'll see you next time. Okay?